Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. And we are talking about Big Brother. I don't know what to, what?
Okay,
But first.
If you are new to our channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
Yes, and if you want to support us on Patreon, you can find a link in the description.
Yes, join us.
Okay, so we are recapping Wednesday's episode.
And Thursday's live eviction.
And then we actually have a little bit of spoilers tonight.
What? That HOH already over.
Didn't last that long, you guys. It wasn't very long. Okay, so Wednesday's episode, where are we? We're coming off the
Wednesday
noms.
we had already spoiled
Yeah.
and talked about. The only exciting thing was we got to see BB Comics,
Right,
really.
yes, yeah, which was fun.
Yeah, oh, I enjoy it. It's
even though
the
we knew
one
what was
with
going to
the
happen.
zip line.
Mhm.
You never know kind of what the physical part's going to be, but it's the zip line again.
Yep.
And it's fun to see the BB Comics.
Yeah, I loved Cats.
I loved Cats as well. I loved Kimmy's.
Yes, Jack's
And we
was
both
satisfying.
enjoyed that Jack got some shade.
Yes. Yep. Holly's was as boring as she is. You know, like everything was pretty spot on with these BB Comics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even though we knew Nicole was gonna win, it was still like
It was
just
still
satisfying
great
to
to
see
see.
her really smoke these people.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we'd gotten more in her edit.
Yeah.
They spent more time on Jackson.
Yeah.
But then, like, when they revealed her score being 4 minutes faster, everyone's just like, oh!
Yeah.
You know.
Especially Holly, who took almost a full 40 minutes to do it, and Nicole took 10.
Yeah, like 38 minutes.
So yikes, that was an embarrassing edit for
Wow,
Holly.
that's-
Another embarrassing edit.
Yeah, coming off that movies and chill.
Oh my God.
Not looking good.
No. Mm-mm.
So we also do see, like, as we talked before, that Tommy reveals that he knows Christy right before the comp.
Right.
So we see a little bit of that.
And Jackson's
Tommy feels
like,
alone.
oh, Jackson's like, I can't have Tommy here because Christy's a guaranteed vote and she could flip that jury, that kind of thing.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. You should be
Jackson
concerned.
already wanted him out, but like, yes.
Yeah.
A connection in jury, terrifying.
Okay, you gotta go. Nicole wins the veto, and immediately, of course, she tells Cliff, like, I'm gonna use it on you. We know that she does.
Then we get to see the delicious, we talked about this in the last video, deliciousness.
Yes, of Jackson's aha moment.
Then it dawns on me.
Yeah.
Ow!
Okay.
Yes!
Hadn't worked through all those scenarios.
Get into the game, buddy!
Yeah.
What happens next?
Right.
Yeah, and also we had just seen a DR at the top where Holly says, and there's no way that Jackson will ever put me on the block, so blah, 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 blah. I feel fine going into this veto. And you're like, no,
you shouldn't feel fine.
There is an option, like there's a way for you to go on the block. And guess what? Here we are.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I thought it was very telling that there was not a DR soundbite from Holly that was like, if one of them comes down, I'm going up, so I have to gun for this veto to guarantee my safety.
There's not a soundbite because it
happen.
wasn't in the brain.
Didn't occur to her.
It wasn't in the head.
Yeah, so we see that whole thing, which is great to see again on television. We've seen it on the feeds, but just seeing Jackson being like, kind of like, almost like really letting Holly have it with it. I was like, ease up, Jackson. But he was like, I mean, it makes sense, Holly. You're going to go home. It makes sense for them to break up the showmance. Like, he's like aggressively telling her, like, they are going to vote you out, Holly.
I mean, he also, like, every other sentence is, I don't mean to stress you out, but like, this is the smart thing.
You're stressing me out.
She's like, yeah, you're stressing me out. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah, oh, I love it. So they just finally realize it, and then they get confirmation. Nicole's like, hee hee hee.
Yeah, she's like, I would very much like to use it on Cliff. And Nicole's like, but I promise no funny business, okay?
Yeah. And at that moment, like,
she meant it.
They kind of meant it.
Kind of.
You know, Cliff really meant it. And Nicole was like, sure.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. So then she goes up to Tommy and she's like, Tommy, eating her pasta. She's like, I have some funny business.
It was really cute. Like, we got cute, quirky music, and she's like, I have a veto. You know what I want to do?
What if I use it?
And then I like how the music changes when Tommy's like, dramatic music.
Yes.
I would
love Oh my God, I want to stay in this game. Of course, he's like breaking out into song in his head, I'm sure. But he's like, whatever you need, right? He's like, I will.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. Like, I'm ready. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
And then we get to the actual official ceremony. Everything goes down as we think it's going to. Cliff comes off of the block. And Jackson's like, ooh, sorry, girl.
He's like, sorry, I don't have any other option.
My girlfriend has to go on the block.
Oh, okay.
So that's how we end Wednesday.
Yes, Tommy and Holly
two
on the
official
block.
nominees.
Yes. So then Thursday's episode, this is when Tommy's campaign kind of goes into effect, right? Because Nicole kind of told him, like, it's time for you to start campaigning, Tommy. Like, you know, make some promises, things like that.
Now this Thursday episode is really hard to recap without just sort of blending what happened on the feeds. Oh my gosh, because it really, you guys, the feeds were down all day today.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to just like chime in with the mob mentality on the internet of like, give us our feeds.
Yeah.
But we missed good stuff today.
And they did that seemingly intentionally, because usually the feeds come back up in between the rehearsal and the show, but they were just down the whole time conveniently where there's this epic fight going down.
A house meeting was being called. They have a tech rehearsal, then they shut down for feeds, and there are feeds in the middle.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. So, you know, as soon as the episode comes up, it's like, oh, drama confirmed.
Yeah,
like,
right.
They're still scrambling.
They don't know what they're doing.
Happening.
Yeah.
Very intense conversations still happening.
Yeah.
So we know that house meeting happened and things.
It went down.
It went down.
Right. But before all of that, but first, again.
But first.
Yeah. We do see Tommy sort of promise to throw the HOH to Cliff and Nicole if they will save him, and then he'll gun for the veto and go after Jackson. And
that was sort of his first initial was like, I'll throw it. I'll throw it to you. And Nicole was like,
well, I like that plan.
I like it, but here's what else I need.
Yeah.
I need you to gun for that veto and take out Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, sure.
I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And so they have had little conversations all week, but the campaigning really didn't hit until last night, like Wednesday, like late Wednesday.
Right.
Campaigning really hit. And Holly, as confirmed in this episode, did nothing. She did not campaign. She made a potato casserole.
Yeah.
That happened. But otherwise, she was like, I'm loyal. I'm loyal to you, Nicole.
Right. Well, and her whole thing is like, I'm not a liar. I don't play a dirty game. So I guess she didn't really want to get in the muck of this situation because it really did get dirty, right? So I guess she's just trying to like be true to whatever her BS strategy is. That's the only benefit of the doubt I can give her.
I'm not gonna say she didn't want to get in the muck. I just don't think she knew how to get in the muck.
I guess,
She's like not playing Big Brother.
Well,
is my
we've known that for weeks
on this.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
But Jackson is. So
Jackson is.
We see a couple other things during the episode, right? Tommy reveals to Cliff and Nicole that he knows Christy as sort of this like measure of trust, like you can trust me, I'm telling you. But
and
Nicole's
also
like,
I accidentally told these other people and I don't want them to use it against me.
Sorry. I'm joking. Yeah, okay.
Don't literally check.
Yeah.
Yes, he's like, whoops, accidentally said it. So now I need to like cover my tracks with the people who are actually voting.
Right.
So he does have to tell, which is like,
Yeah.
Do we leave someone in the game that has like basically
Nicole's
a family
like red flag, right?
But honestly, he did it really well. Like the edit in the episode made it seem like, well, this is something we now need to consider.
Yeah.
But they were not. Tommy like tied it up in a perfect little bow of like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I walked in on day one and there she was.
What was I supposed to do?
She's an ex. I don't even know if my family is mad at me or what. Like he's really phrasing it.
I was trapped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this was a horrible thing. Nicole's like, I can't imagine.
How did you keep it a secret for 80 however many days?
It takes Jackson to be like, you guys, Christy has a mouth on her.
Yeah.
She is all for Tommy, and she will now tell the whole jury to be all for Tommy.
That jury, and Cliff's like, fair point. Yeah, like you make a good point. She is a good talker.
Yes.
So they're all considering this. Well, then Tommy does one other check-in with Cliff and Nicole, right? He goes up to the have-not room. He says,
was like 1:30 in the morning. I'm trying to go to bed, but I gotta keep an eye on them.
You can't.
I gotta keep an eye.
You gotta stay up until the house guests go to bed.
Yeah.
So Tommy's saying, is there anything else you need from me?
Right.
Right?
This
Just
is what
checking
I'm saying. I am vowing to you,
yes,
throwing HOH, gunning for veto to take out Jackson.
Who is...
This final three right here.
Right here. Who is outside the door listening in but Jackson? He hears every word.
Theme of this season, eavesdrop.
It's the most important eavesdrop of the season.
In every, like...
Yes, exactly. Right? I mean, so many times, specifically with Cliff, people have overheard what you're talking about, and you're still being busted by people just listening through a door. When
this was happening in the wee mornings, I was like, my stomach is in knots, because I'm like, oh my god, Jackson's listening, oh my god. And then I was relieved, like when Jackson started like tiptoeing away, I was like, wow. All he heard was Tommy's pitch, and he heard like Nicole basically being like, why would we trust you?
Yeah.
So I was worried, you know, Nicole and Cliff were going to reveal something to Jackson and that was going to be horrible. I'm thinking, no big deal. He knows Tommy pitched. Like, obviously Tommy's pitching something, right?
Well, here is where Jackson's strategic side comes out. I didn't know he had it.
No, day 80, what, 7?
Yeah.
No, this is the first time I've seen it.
I mean, he goes to that HOH room and he's like, think. Like, what can I do? What can I do? And he hatches this plan where he repeats Tommy's pitch verbatim to Cliff and Nicole. And they're like, why would you ask us that? Like, what are you being promised? And he's like, Tommy's playing both sides, and he promised me the exact same thing.
Well, he's saying he told me that's what he's gonna pitch to you.
Yes, right, exactly.
Saying that we are gonna work together.
And he will save me.
Yes.
So that's the difference.
That, you know, and then we will come after you, you're easy to beat. Like, he gave some great details, like, you're easy to beat to Nicole, that really put her in a place where she couldn't think straight.
Yeah, she kind of spun out a little bit.
That's why this was so good. And I was just like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
Jackson is playing
He
Big
played
Brother
it perfectly.
Really well.
Because he said, Cliff, we're going to take you out. That's all that Cliff cares about. And he says, Nicole, like, he thinks he can beat you. And Nicole's like, I'm tired of being underestimated. Like, he really plays to what these two care about, you know, and like what's gonna hurt them and make them mad at Tommy.
Threw them off enough that you just are like, I don't know who to believe. I'm mad now. I'm hurt. Like, I don't know what to do. And Nicole's like, let's air this out. Let's go. House meeting. And Jackson, hello, red flag.
Whoa.
Let's not.
I mean, at least let's do it tomorrow.
Can we do it tomorrow? Like, I don't. It's somebody's last night. You know, let's give them this. No. If someone doesn't want to do a house meeting, red flag.
Yeah, call it immediately. You know what I mean?
And also, why would Tommy ever give Jackson any of this information
before a vote?
Before the vote.
Why? What does he have to gain?
Holly is his showmance. Why would he tell what he's gonna do to the person who's hooking up with that other person on the block?
And who doesn't have a vote in this eviction. So the only two people are voting are Cliff and Nicole. So why would Tommy say anything to anyone that could get back to Cliff and Nicole and make them change their votes? It doesn't make sense, but they are just not seeing
But he threw them off enough. Like, that's the key. Is like, if you just lie, they're gonna be like, this doesn't make sense. Why would this happen? I'm gonna go verify.
Right.
But he gave enough details. He upset them enough that they were just like, I don't even want to. Like, this is so annoying. This is so frustrating. I'm done. Like, and they are like, I don't want to talk to anyone for the rest of the night.
Well, and the other thing was that, like, in this conversation in the bedroom, Jackson keeps saying, like, Holly and I are loyal to y'all. And he's making this big pitch about loyalty as though that matters. Because after this vote, it's Holly and Jackson and Cliff and Nicole, and they're gonna all loyalty out the window.
Right.
So that whole thing doesn't matter.
So final four. Okay, so what if it happens at 5?
But again, like, Cliff and Nicole aren't really picking things apart like that because, like you said, he just kind of like poked them in just the right ways to like throw them off their game a little bit and frazzle them.
We should also point out that by this point, by the time that Tommy is doing this last minute pitch, it's not last minute, but this like last check-in that Jackson overhears, Nicole and Cliff have already started to backpedal. They're already leaning towards evicting Tommy. Nicole has been leaning towards evicting Holly this whole week. Cliff has been like, we'll see.
Yeah.
And then now all of a sudden, Nicole, not all of a sudden, it evolved. Nicole is going, I don't know, Tommy is harder to beat in competitions. What if he does turn against me? Working with the devil I know versus working with the devil I haven't worked with all summer. You know, those kinds of things. Like, so they actually were leaning towards evicting Tommy. And so this information just sort of like played into the fears that they were already considering. And so it's just easier to be like, oh my God, okay, fine. Like, keep Holly, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, we just have to win anyway. Doesn't matter. You know, everyone, like, we just have to beat, Holly's easier to beat anyway. Like, let's fine.
Yeah.
We get Julie tells us that we're going to get a little bit of tidbit of the fight, which we do at the end, and then obviously we'll see more of it on Sunday. But it does appear that it got nasty. And messy, and it didn't get resolved. Like, Tommy was like, he lied, and I'm telling the truth, and it was not cleared as a group. Jackson is holding to, I'm being honest. Which is fascinating.
Well, we, you know, eventually get to the live eviction, right? And it's 2-0. Tommy is evicted. Both Nicole and Cliff are really emotional about this.
And Tommy's really emotional.
I mean, Cliff, it looked like for a second he actually might vote Holly. Like, he took a second to think about it in the DR when he was casting his vote. Like, he was totally undecided, but, you know, ultimately I think he realized, like, Nicole and I need to be together.
Yeah, at that point, you're like, you're just splitting it and Jackson's going to decide to keep Holly.
Right. So they voted to evict Tommy. Tommy is sobbing, like tears streaming down his face. And he, you know, he's very sort of understanding, I guess is the word in the moment. He's like, it's game. Like, it got personal. He says to Jackson, like, it got personal, but it's game. He gives everybody a hug on his way out. Like, I don't think he's going to harbor hard feelings for these people, but...
I think I heard Cliff say something like, I believe you. Because I was like, oh, wait. It sounded like when Cliff hugged him, he was like, no, I got you, I believe you. And maybe that's why he was wavering in the... Probably Nicole and Cliff do see through some of it. I mean, we haven't seen any of it, so what do we know? But I imagine Cliff and Nicole just felt like their backs were against the wall, and maybe Holly's easier to beat, or it looks like something else might have gone into play, but I'll wait till we go to spoilers.
Something happened, but the thing, I mean, I could see Cliff saying, I believe you to Tommy, but that not necessarily influencing his vote, because we did see a scene in this episode where Jackson was trying to say, like, Cliff, I can't believe that, you know, you would break the final four, like, I take that personally, and Cliff is like, I don't play personal, like, I play game. And so I think even if Cliff believed Tommy, and felt in his heart that Tommy was telling the truth, ultimately, clearly, Cliff decided that what was best for his game is to get Tommy out. Even though Tommy was telling the truth, and
so
Cliff maybe knew that Jackson was lying.
You know, us not knowing exactly what happened, but knowing something went down. Tommy is sobbing. Jackson is like in his little stoic position. Nicole and Cliff are clearly disturbed and upset. And then Tommy handled his eviction very well. It was a great interview. He does talk like a fan of the show.
He does.
Even though he never watched feeds, so guys, watch some feeds before you go in the house. It will really help you with the game.
It will help you.
He played a great game. I tweeted just about every week that he was going to win this game, so the fact that he's not in it is actually a very big deal.
It's a big move, you know. Nicole and Cliff took out someone who definitely would have beat each of them, I think, in a final scenario.
Two, hands down, he was going to win.
You know, even though they didn't break up the showmance, a lot of people online were saying, like, how could you not realize that breaking up the showmance is the good move here? But getting out Tommy is an equally big move, because Tommy has played such an excellent game all season.
Yes, let's not forget what a good player he was all summer. People were like, but don't put Tommy up. I don't want to like upset Tommy. I love Tommy.
I love Tommy. He's the best person in the whole world.
He's great.
Yeah.
So had he like been able to win some of these comps? He's
oh my God.
He's winning.
Yeah.
But Nicole was able to win the comps instead, and she was able to get him out. So yes, there's I've been saying all week, like, it's so close. And I don't know which one is the better one. Here we are. I was up for either. I'm excited for either. And Tommy is an amazing person to get out of the house, but yes, we are still stuck with a showmance. Most importantly, a comp beast supported by a showmance. Dangerous.
Yes, but it's down to two duos, right? And we go into the HOH, and we get to see the very beginning of the HOH, which is the turn and spin thing. It's a physical comp, so we're sort of assuming, like, well, Cliff is not going to last long. Literally on the show, I was saying to Sarah while we were watching, I was like, Julie needs to say start so that Cliff doesn't fall before she says start.
Like, just getting set up, he's like,
wobbling.
And then when we like come back from commercial, I was like, is Cliff going to be there? Is Cliff? Well, he was. But let's go ahead to spoilers.
Spoilers. We don't normally get to do that in this, video, but this is fun. So this HOH is already over.
Bonkers, you guys.
Yeah.
The show is over, so we like have our feeds open, and it always takes like a minute to get
back up.
You know, the feeds.
I'm yelling. I'm like, turn the feeds on, and Sarah's like, it takes a second.
Take a breath. And then as soon as the feeds come back on, I'm like yelling to David, Cliff's already down.
And I'm like, surprise.
And then I was like, wait, what? And they're like, Nicole, you won. She's like, what? Like, I think Holly just stepped off.
Yeah.
I think there was a deal struck.
Okay, yeah. So talk us through the theory.
I mean, I don't know. It happened so quick that like all of my eyeballs missed it. Like I don't fully understand how it happened, but it looks like Cliff fell and Holly stepped down.
Because
the comp,
like
the endurance comp lasted like 5 minutes.
Yeah, right. CBS was like, pay for the feeds, endurance comp tonight,
guys,
it's gonna be worth it.
Guys, it's gonna be on the feeds tonight. No,
over in 5 minutes. So
too fast.
I mean, y'all have to remember the comp from earlier in the season where they had like, they were holding on to 2 different ropes.
Yes.
Holly did really well in that competition.
Yes.
She hung on for a long time, in fact, longer than Nicole.
Yep.
So it is suspicious that she would drop so quickly.
Yeah, because they weren't even going fast yet. Like, we know this comp. It speeds up. They get smacked into that thing.
Oh yeah, the water,
it was
the
gonna
special
be great.
effects.
And I thought, oh no, poor little frail Nicole's just gonna get smacked right off, and Holly's gonna win this.
How are they even gonna edit an HOH segment out of this? There's so little footage.
I think this is just my prediction. There's no facts here.
Yeah.
But I think what we're gonna see is there was a handshake we witnessed that Holly is like, if you guys keep me, I will throw you this HOH. Which I don't fully understand why it's worth it to stay 1 more week.
Right.
But it is possible that Jackson wins this veto and she's saved.
Right.
So I guess it's a risky move, but worth it. And so she stepped down and made sure that Nicole won this.
Yeah, I mean, that's really because you know, if she said she was going to throw it to Cliff and Nicole, and then Cliff falls like 3 minutes in, Holly's probably like, well, listen, I can't take any chances here. Like,
right? What if Nicole slips?
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'm asking you, please just hang on a little bit longer. But I guess she didn't risk it, or maybe she actually slipped. I don't know. It happened so quick.
It is though interesting
because water was falling on them. Anything's possible.
It is interesting though that Holly would honor a deal like that, because who really cares at this point? You're at the final 4. If Holly beats Nicole and wins HOH, Holly has guaranteed her place in the final 3 now, and you know, who really cares that she broke a deal with somebody? They can't really come after her.
That's the thing. I'm breaking all my deals at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
great. I'm gonna throw HOH to you. Save me right now.
Yeah.
And guess what? Now I'm winning HOH.
Right. I won it. What are you gonna do about it? Because guess what? Now I'm in final 3, and if you make it to final 3, you're probably gonna take me to final 2 because you think you can beat me. Like, I don't see how Holly didn't see that as like a clear path forward. But what if?
But she didn't know she could go on the block this week.
Well, that's true. She doesn't know how this game is played.
She doesn't.
She thinks she's on Love Island.
Yeah.
So anyway, you know, it seems, we don't know yet. We'll see what happened, you know, with the fight, but it seems like there was a deal. We don't know for sure.
Right.
There was a deal.
Guessing.
We're speculating. Right. But we'll see what went down.
It's just like so weird.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre.
So bizarre.
But like you said, all that matters is the veto at this point.
Right.
And Nicole, I mean, I'm so happy that Nicole guaranteed
Nicole
her place
HOH.
in the final 3. That's
Nicole
great.
Is HOH. She has that on her resume.
Exactly.
She has this final 4 HOH.
So clearly she's putting up the showmance, and you know, they'll play the veto, and whoever wins the veto basically gets to decide who's going home, directly or indirectly.
Jackson is a compies.
Yeah.
So we're all worried about Jackson winning this veto. But odds are, if this HOH was an endurance, the veto comp is going to be more mental.
Yeah.
It's going to probably be days or face morphs. It's going to be something like that, which Nicole does have a strong case to win, and Cliff has got a pretty good case to win as well.
Yeah.
So it's anyone's comp, I think.
Right.
At this point.
I hope so, because I don't want it to be just like, Jackson's gonna win it, like that's how it is. You know, I would like it to be a little bit of a competition.
I know. Jackson has a pretty darn good resume. I mean, he's really been winning a lot, but this whole little strategy to get Holly to stay and be safe, it was really impressive. So if he gets to final 2, it's his game.
Yeah, right. So we'll see. I mean, clearly Jackson is going to be the target this week. If he doesn't win the veto, he's a goner for sure.
Yeah.
No matter what happens.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But at least for now, I'm happy that Nicole is in the final 3.
At least for now, we can celebrate that Nicole is the HOH and she gets the HOH room all week.
Yes.
She's a legit HOH.
Legit, yeah. Oh, so good. She is really making it happen at the end of this game.
Make it happen, girl. Look, I'm still very, like every day, I'm so into this season, which is shocking.
I mean, the end of this season is so good.
So good.
I'm not sure that it fully makes up for the beginning.
But I'm enjoying it right now.
We are here, and I'm glad that I stuck with it, because now I can really appreciate what's happening in this moment where Cliff and Nicole are 2 of the final 4, and Nicole is the HOH. Like, this is a big deal. We have 2 outsiders who have made it to the top of this game at the very end, and that's great.
Absolutely. Oh, I wanted to bring up that Tommy talked about the underdogs and rooting for the underdogs in his interview, which I was like, he's saying the right thing.
He is.
But he didn't want to work with the underdogs at all summer, so I was confused.
Yeah, he was like, as a fan, like, you know, I know watching you root for the underdogs, like, I'm rooting for Cliff and Nicole, and I'm like, I just
So he's like, so I wanted to work with them.
And I'm like, I just want to roll back that tape to the beginning of the season where you only wanted to work with that group of 8 people, which definitely did not include Nicole or Cliff.
No.
So
even just like a couple weeks ago, he wasn't wanting to work with Nicole and Cliff.
I guess people evolve.
Maybe, or he's just lying.
Maybe, or he's lying. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you guys, please tell us what you thought about this whole week and this huge decision. I know it was, you know, we're all sort of torn on which way to go.
Yeah,
please tell us which way you wanted it to go.
Yes, I mean, I don't think there was one right answer, but I would love to hear what you think.
Right, and what you hope for this Final 4, Final 3 coming up.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts, and we will see you next time.
Okay, bye.